Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today? Welcome. Hey, everybody. How's it going today? Happy New Year's Day. Do y'all see the confetti coming down from the ceiling right now? I'm so excited. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's me, Tanisha O. And welcome to Tea with Tanisha O. I am Tanisha OKK. I'm the creator of the Forgiveness Lifestyle Movement. I absolutely love what I get to do. I get to support people with getting unstuck. I'm a forgiveness coach. I get to help people find their blind spots. They're thinking that it's procrastination. They're thinking that they're not good enough, that they need more systems in place. They need to be more organized in business. They need to be a little bit nicer in their homes. Really, it's unforgiveness that keeps you stuck in any area of your life. If you think about any problem, it's unforgiveness at the root cause of it. And so I support them. I'm a corporate trainer, keynote speaker, and the author of Empowered Stepmother. I should show y'all my book, y'all. Empowered Stepmother, Grow, Glow, and Thrive Harmoniously in Your Blended Family. So if you know any stepmoms, grab it on Amazon. Listen, y'all, in the meantime, in between time, today we are going to talk about forgiveness. Hey, Kenny, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, King. Welcome. Y'all, listen. Let's welcome 2021 with a forgiving heart. I cried. When the ball drops every single year, tears roll down my face every year, faithfully. It's something about it. Uh, and I think that part of it is because I always think about the fact that one day in the far distant future, I won't be here anymore and it'll be a memory. Good evening, Happy New Year, Deborah. I'll be a memory, right? And then at some day, I may be reflecting on the loss of a loved one. And man, thank God I didn't lose any family in 2020, but that's not everyone's story. And so when that ball drops, I always find myself in a state of utter gratitude for being here, for being able to make it to yet another beautiful year. And so that's what I find myself doing. And so as I was reflecting this morning, I was just thinking, gosh, what do I want to talk about today? And I wanted to talk about us entering into 2021 with a forgiving heart. I've seen the memes and I think that they're funny when they're like, hey, 2021, don't you come in here and show off. Don't touch nothing. Just come in here, sit down and act like you got some sense. Don't show off, right? And I love all those things. At the same time, I don't want anyone to feel like you have to stop dreaming or living or pursuing what you really, really want in life because of all of the uncertainty around us. 2020, there was tons of uncertainty, so much loss. And my condolences to any person who's listening. If you've lost a loved one or a family member, my heart and my prayers are with you. The loss of jobs and all of those things. And at the same time, we still, as you figure out how to reconcile the pain or the loss and the things, life still requires us to keep showing up every day, right? And then the question also, if you did lose a loved one, what would they want for you to do? What would they want you to be doing? What advice would they be giving you in this moment? How would they be wanting you to show up to love yourself? I remember when my father was dying, and I never met my father. Many of you guys know that story. But when he was dying, he had sent me an email and he was telling me, one day you'll understand why I tell you to love your husband so much, or this or that. And I'm going to tell you the truth. It was in my father's death that I learned how to love my children differently and how to love them unconditionally, because I saw the pain that he was in, and I saw the anger and the bitterness and the resentment and all those things that he carried even to his death. And when I watched him, I thought to myself, if I don't make a hard shift and if I don't make a hard change, I will be him. Because even though I had never met him, there were so many things about me that reminded me of him: the resentment, the bitterness, the hurt, the pain. And so watching him, even from a distance, even though I had only spoken to him a couple times on the telephone and a couple emails and things, I still made some really hard decisions and some hard shifts to grow through my pain in order to shift and make a better tomorrow for my children. And so no matter what happened to you in 2020, in order for you to still push forward and thrive forward as you're healing and as you're growing, it's going to require you to forgive 2020, 2019, 1976, 1980, whatever the year is, it's going to require you to go back to the point of the sorest point, the most tender spots, those painful places, and acknowledge your pain. And then as you move forward into the next version of yourself for 2021, whatever that version is, you're forgiving yourself for all the things you didn't accomplish, for all of the ideas that you never put out into the atmosphere, for all the thoughts that you just left, for all of the times that you feel like you allowed people to run over you, or for all the times you didn't speak up for yourself, whatever it is, for staying too long in a relationship, for not loving hard enough, for loving too much, whatever it is, forgive yourself for that. So that as you enter into this new year, you enter into the newness of whatever this year may bring. Because the reality is, everything that you accomplish, you're going to have 2021 stamped. And you get to decide if you're going to say, oh my gosh, 2021 is the year that I launched that new company. 2021 is the year that I became unapologetic about the way that I showed up. 2021 is the year that I had my first baby. 2021 is the year that I got married. 2021 is the year that I reconciled my marriage. 2021 is the year that I wrote and published my first book. 2021 is the year that I became who I am. I remember so clearly. Happy New Year, Queen. Happy New Year, Latanya. I remember so clearly. It was New Year's Eve in 2016 or 17. It's one of those years that I was writing forgiveness letters. And I was writing them out on New Year's Eve to 3 people that I had just I was stuck, y'all. I had been stuck for so many years, and I didn't know how. I didn't even know the level of pain I was spewing out, but I knew that life had to be better than this. But I remember sitting that New Year's Eve night, and I wrote those letters and mailing them off. And it changed my life, because when I released those letters, when I wrote those forgiveness letters, I didn't expect a response. I didn't expect a reply. I didn't expect somebody to change something or fix something for me. I knew that this was up to me to figure it out, to move forward. It was up to me to acknowledge my pain. It was up to me for me to move through it, navigate through it. And that's exactly what I did. I moved through and I navigated through, and it is what is exactly has brought us to where we are today. Yes, death comes with lessons of life that will benefit you for the next generation. Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. So I'm trying to talk to both of y'all at the same time. All of y'all, I should say, at the same time. I'm loving all y'all at the same time. And so let me talk to you really quick about forgiveness, because for some of you, I always receive DMs and I get these different people like, T, what exactly is forgiveness? Like, how does it work? How do I maneuver through it? And so today I was having a conversation with one of my children, and I gave him this analogy. I said, forgiveness is like, you go outside and you fall off your bike and you scrape your knee, your elbow, your knee, you scrape up several parts of your body, and you come into the house and you first of all have to acknowledge your wounds, right? You need to look at these wounds and be like, dang, I got a scar here, I got it on my knee, I got it here, I may bust my chin. You have all these wounds, and you need to acknowledge where they are. And then you go, what do? You quickly go and get everything you need. You go get some peroxide, alcohol, maybe you get some Neosporin, possibly you get yourself some bandages, and you start to clean it all up and take care of it. And then as you go throughout the day, you're very ginger with those injuries. You know, if somebody comes close to you and they're about to bump you, you're like, ooh. And every time you move your knee the wrong way, you feel it, right? You feel that pain. You're like, ooh, you're reminded of that pain. And so you're a little gentle. And so because it's tender, you're constantly reminded of the pain you're in. And what happens the next morning? You do the same thing. You get up, you take off all the old bandages, you clean up the new, you clean it all up, you redo it again, clean it out, put your ointment on there, your new bandages, and you're ready. And you're still constantly nurturing, making sure that you're okay, right? As days pass, the pain subsides a little bit, still tender, but the pain subsides just a little bit, day in and day out. And before you know it, it's healed. Before you know it, these scars are not, the wounds have healed, but the scar remains. The scar is a reminder of what happened, of you falling off the bike. The scar never goes away. And so I told him that's forgiveness. Forgiveness happens. And in order, the first thing you have to do with forgiveness is acknowledge your pain. And so often people never stop long enough to acknowledge their pain. They always move past it. And the reason why he and I even had this conversation is because somebody apologized to him about something that they had done to him. And he said when they apologized, he was like, they looked like they really didn't want to say, I'm sorry. And so I said, so basically, their apology really didn't change your pain. And he said, no. And I said, apologies don't change the pain. However, many of us are taught and trained that when somebody says, I'm sorry, you're supposed to instantly feel better. You're supposed to instantly be cured. You're supposed to instantly be like, all right, I'm all better. But the apology doesn't take away the pain. You have to acknowledge your pain. And so I gave him the analogy of him falling off a bike. I said, now, in certain situations, you may go to your parents or go to the loved one or the person who has hurt you, and you'll go to that person and you'll say, oh my gosh, look, I'm hurting. And you'll go to that person and say, look, I'm hurting. And that person will come and say, I'm sorry, and they just apologize for your pain and go on about it. They don't do anything to help you, but they say, I'm sorry, but they don't acknowledge anything. And you're like, okay, well, thanks. And maybe they're the person who pushed you off the bike in the first place. And they're like, sorry. And they go on about their business. I said, they said sorry, but it didn't change your pain. I said, and then you may have a parent or the loved one or the other person who offends you, and they may or may not have caused the pain, but when you tell them that you're hurting, they come to you and they say, oh, let me help you. Let me go get some ointment. Let me go grab the alcohol. Let me get the band-aids. Let me run to the store and get you everything. And then every day, throughout the day, they're saying, how do you feel? Are you okay? Is there anything I need to get you? Can I help you with any way? And you tell them. And then the next day they say, do you want me to help you clean your wounds? Do you want me to help you out? And they help you through it. And so you feel more nurtured. However, you are still the person carrying that pain. You're still the person who has to make sure if somebody comes close to your injury or wound, the trigger points that happen when you have unforgiveness, as you're working through unforgiveness, the trigger points, that's still you. Every single time you are the person who has the scar. They don't have the scar. And so I was reminding him that forgiveness is like that, whether somebody apologizes or they don't apologize, whether they ride with you through the pain to try to help support you as you work through it, or they don't, it's still your pain and no one will feel it, acknowledge it, or be able to hold it the way you do. It's still your triggers. But the first part is acknowledging your pain. And so for all of you who are looking to welcome 2020, you're beating yourself up because you didn't accomplish the things that you set out to do in 2020. Matter of fact, many of the things that you set out to do in 2020, you honestly, if you're being honest with yourself, some of that stuff has been on your list since 2016. You just kept rolling it over. And when 2020 happened and there were all of these different dynamics that came in 2020, it gave you a bigger excuse as to why you didn't accomplish things. And I'm not talking to just you, I'm talking to myself, because I'm going to be honest with you. I travel the country a lot. If you follow me, you know that I speak in a lot of different countries. I'm always on the road, moving around, training, teaching, doing all sorts of stuff. And so as I move around, I'm thinking, okay, COVID hit. I'm staying at home. I'm about to get everything done. Everything that was supposed to be done, I'm getting done, except for I didn't do that. In the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm on a vacation. I'm on a break. Like my mind was like, T, you're not out training. You're not doing this, that. Like I was on a break. And so then I had to get real honest with myself about how I show up. Like, where do I make excuses? What excuses and what reasons do I give as to why things really aren't done? Because before I was saying it was because I was always traveling and I was always out, but now I'm at home all day long. What's the real story? And so for some of you, it's going to require you to really get honest about what you're really doing. It's going to require you to set out to make some very, very different decisions about how you show up. It's going to require you to wake up earlier. It's going to require you to get off of social media so frequently. It's going to require you not to sit on the phone for 5 hours a day. It's going to require you to shift your mindset and your thinking. It's going to require a different version of you in order for you to get a different result from it. It's going to require you to purchase some of my forgiveness master classes. It's going to require you to invest in Forgiveness Lifestyle University when I roll that out in a couple weeks. It's going to require a larger investment because you've been stuck for long enough. and you're ready for the next thing. You don't know what that thing is, but you know that what you're doing now isn't working. It's going to require something different of you. And so as you move in, welcome 2021 with an open heart and with an open mind. Embrace it. Acknowledge that whatever happened in the past, it's happened. So as you work through your pain, acknowledge it, but also make decisions on how and what you will do to move forward. How will you grow through this? What will you do? What are you going to navigate? How are you going to navigate differently in order for you to get the results that you desire to seek? That's going to be the thing. I love y'all. If any of you have any questions, if there's anything that I can support you with, you know, you can always DM me. You can jump on the Forgiveness Lifestyle newsletter. I'm revamping that entire website because we're launching Forgiveness Lifestyle University soon. So I'm revamping everything right now. So I've pulled most of the stuff off the website, but still jump on the newsletter so that you have all the information on what's happening. Forgiveness is what you need. You're stuck, you're in pain, bitterness, resentment, you feel rejected, you can't get out of bed, you're hurting, whatever it is, it's unforgiveness that is keeping you stuck. Forgiveness is what you need. If any of you were to jump on right now and give me any scenario that you're feeling stuck in, I promise you 9 times out of 10, 9.99999 times out of 10, forgiveness is at the core of what is needed in that. That's why I come and I share with you beautiful people every single day about forgiveness, because I want everyone to be whole and healed and live out the life that they desire and they deserve and you dream of constantly. I love y'all so much. You know where to reach me. DM me if you need me. ForgivenessLifestyle.com. I am Tanisha O. I am your forgiveness coach, and I'm always here to love you and to serve and to support you. Continue to do what? Forgive, heal, and grow with who? Your girl, Tanisha O. I love y'all. Enjoy a beautiful, beautiful evening and Happy New Year. Welcome 2021 with an abundant heart and a forgiving heart. I love y'all.